Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. I've told this story before, but it kind of takes precedent now. Let me just raise my bed up a bit. There we go. And that is, I was in the hospital. I know I spent like half my life in a hospital, it seems like. And this semi-private room, and I was put with a person who just got diagnosed, and he just really came up from emergency, and he just wanted the room dark, all dark. We had to pull down the shades. If I used a little flashlight to get around, it was turn off that light. No, he had a really tough time accepting the diabetes. Now, I guess he was probably around 20, give or take. And this guy, I hope, has learned how to control his diabetes. And I hope things work out. But there is so many people, teenagers, young adults who don't really care, or they downplay their diabetes, or they deny it. I've had people in the school I went to where one girl decided not to take her insulin one day, and she went around all morning, oh yes, I'm fine. Her blood sugar was probably in the teens, but she went to lunch, and then after lunch at a last classroom change of the day, she collapsed, and she was this close to going into diabetic coma. So I just want people to be aware that if you're a type 1 diabetic and put on insulin, you're put on insulin for a reason, that you will be able to live. Now, I think there's two sorts of people that fall into this. Or three. One is, we'll say, a teenager or a young adult who's probably just being diagnosed and wants to test. Oh yeah, I probably won't need to take insulin. Because, once you get home and you start feeling better, and, oh yeah. Oh, well, I forgot to take my shot. Oh, no big deal. It is a big deal. And especially if you're supposed to be on the pump Now, for years there have been stories, and I haven't heard this one recently, but where teenage girls were cutting back their insulin so they have a little bit higher blood sugar so that they would lose the weight. Come on. You gotta stop doing that. You gotta stop playing with your lives. You can't stop denying you're a diabetic. And I keep wondering who really learns from this. Do people say, oh yes, I'll follow? There's got to be a little light switch sometimes that came on. Now, for myself, I went through a period of this, and it wasn't, I don't think I ever, just scratching me, itchy knee, sorry. I don't think I ever denied myself from taking insulin. That is probably the worst thing you could do. But for me, I drink Coke. The biggest thing for me was a Coke Classic and Twizzlers, where you bite off either end and use the Twizzler as a straw. I went through a period of that. Meal times, I would eat more meals. Or not more meals, but more at meals. And yes, I took my insulin, but I didn't really follow through on a lot of things. And I remember going to my GP, and I had blood sugars on different pieces of paper and everything, and I got a new typewriter for my birthday. So I typed it all nice and neat and took it into the doctor, and I got accused of writing numbers down. And I think in my mind, I remember cursing, like, who's this guy think he is? So, back then it was actually urine test, but same difference. And for a while there, I really didn't care. I just take my insulin in the morning, and by the end of the day, I'd come home totally drained from work. Now, it wasn't until we moved. And we moved to where I presently live. This is 30 odd years ago. And I got an endocrinologist at Royal Columbian. I stopped going to Burnaby Hospital and head to Royal Columbian just because it's easier to get to then. And there, I met an endocrinologist. And the endocrinologist was super. No matter what I needed, things would be answered, or we work on it, and I really stopped denying. And yeah, sometimes I'd binge, but it wasn't always anymore. And that's when I really tried to control the blood sugar. I can remember going to work, writing down before lunch, doing a blood test, writing it down, keeping track. But, I never looked at the numbers. I just wrote it down and took it in, and, oh well, we should do this, so I do it. And But all through the childhood, when I was first diagnosed, it was pretty well, oh, do what we want to, we'll tell you when to change things. And you were never sort of really allowed to modify your insulin. Yep, this is what you need. Nowadays, most doctors will give you tools. So, the biggest message from this video is don't deny that you're a diabetic. Live up to it, take your insulin, eat right. Yeah, so it may not mean that you can go out drinking every Friday night. Trust me, your body will thank you for it. But there's so many variables. It's your life and emotional stress on there. Oh yes, I'm just a party animal. I'm just so social. Well, that's wonderful. But you gotta step back sometimes. You gotta take care of you. That doesn't mean you can't go out drinking sometimes. It may mean you have to have a Diet Coke. Oh my God. Just take care of you. Don't let diabetes control you. You control diabetes. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.